Welcome to Complicated Relationship Matters with Dr. Mark Ben.
Gentlemen,
We are here to
thank you for
educate you
coming on the
and
show.
coach you through any kind of relationship issues that you're dealing with. Our channel includes talk shows, documentaries, debates, and much, much more. Our channel includes talk shows, documentaries, debates, and much, much more.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming on the show today. I'm Mark Ben. Today we'll be dealing with another subject, and that is quite very interesting. And that's why we are here today. Sorry that it took some a time for us to come on. It's due to kind of technical issue. So we are going to go straight into the story quickly, so that we don't waste much time. The title of today's episode is known as I'm Being Cursed for Getting Married. Marriage is something very good, but why is it that someone is being cursed for getting married? This is what we're going to understand in this episode as we begin to go ahead and to see what happened to this guy who claimed he was cursed for getting married. Marriage is supposed to be something good. But before then, again, let's quickly have a commercial break.
This is Complicated Relationship Matters with Dr. Mark Ben, adding life and values to relationships. Complicated Relationship Matters with Dr. Mark Ben, adding life and
welcome
values
back.
to relationships.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's quickly dive into the story today, and so that we actually have your view on what this guy should do, because he took some decisions that actually backfired in his life. But let's actually see what happened, because marriage is meant to be something good. Why is there someone is claiming that he's being cursed for getting married? Let's go to the story quickly. Now, going into the story, we tend to understand some things behind the whole story. Now, there's this guy. His name is called Joseph, and he lived in the United Kingdom for so many years, and there he met someone that was called Salome. Salome was from South Africa. Salome was from South Africa, and they started a kind of relationship. They met in the train, because each morning that he went to work, and there was this familiar face in the train. I think they got attracted to each other, and they started going out. They started going out, and that was how their love story started. Now, that was on from the onset of the whole story. Okay. Now, when we now begin to look into some other aspects, what actually happened, then you begin to understand that this is what had actually transpired in the relationship. Um, Now, what then happened was that they began to go out, began to date. Then it went to the next level of the relationship. That was the movement. I call this one movement. That is when they began to actually live together. They lived together. They were able to like have two children, while they lived together. So they began to grow from strength to strength in their own relationship, and that will lead us to what happened in the the third chapter, that is called the green pasture. Now, when it comes to green pasture, when they were in the UK, they had two children, okay, in the UK, and after a while they heard a kind of a breaking news about the fact that they could actually get regularized in the Republic of Ireland, because while they were living in the UK, they were illegal immigrants in the UK, and life was a kind of a bit difficult for them, because there's some privileges they could not access because they were illegal immigrants. So they try as much as possible in order to have another baby, because the key point in getting regularized in the Republic of Ireland as at that time was to have a child. And the pathway to residency for most immigrants that came into Republic of Ireland was for them to have a child. Understand? It's called Irish born. You know, they call it that. That was the nomenclature for it, Irish born, which means if you were able to have a baby in the Republic of Ireland, then you could be on the pathway to having your stay, your residency be regular rise in Ireland. Okay, so that was what actually happened. So, unfortunately, they got. I mean, the Salome got pregnant, and they moved into Republic of Ireland. So after a while, they were able to secure what they were actually looking for, and that was the paper that they were looking for. That was the paper. So when they got to the Republic of Ireland, then they started they got their papers. They became legal residents in Ireland. Then after this they got good jobs. Both of them had good jobs. And Joseph was actually a fervent Christian, so to speak. He wrote through the rank and became a deacon in his church. He was so known, was such a nice person. So as things began to go good for them, it was like a green pasture for them. They were able to like gather money together. They got a mortgage. So when they got this mortgage, when they got this mortgage, it was a good thing for them. Then there was something that happened during that time, why they got their mortgage. The Irish Republic became so prosperous, and there was a boom in the housing markets. So this guy and Joseph and Salome decided to sell their house, and that is to remortgage their house. And and they made so much profit. They made about 40,000 euro equity on that mortgage. So with that money, Joseph was able to convince Salome that he should go to Africa for him to start a business and also to build a house for both of them. So Salome agreed, and Joseph took the journey to Africa in Ghana because Joseph was a Ghanaian. So when he got to Ghana, he went to one of the local bank and deposited the money in the local bank. And in this local bank, that is where the twist started. There was a sudden twist in this bank. And suddenly, the account officer, Joseph account officer, began to like eye Joseph, that he had interest in Joseph. And from one thing to another, they began a relationship. And this relationship blossomed so much to the extent that they decided to like wed. So they got married. So when they got married, the news actually got to Salome in the Republic of Ireland that Joseph, the father of the three children they had gotten married to another woman in in Ghana. And this actually enraged Salome. Salome was not happy if she felt she was that Joseph cheated on him, and also she also felt that she had been backstabbed. She felt being used and being dumped, and this was what actually happened. So Joseph got back from Ghana and into Republic of Ireland, and then the bubble that busted began to actually have another sudden twist again. So this story went viral so much that people began to like lend their voices to what had happened. The pastor of the church that Joseph and Salome attended had to wade into this matter at the end of the day. Then Joseph was asked that why did he decide to become a polygamist? Why did he commit a crime that is called bigamy? And Joseph looked at the pastor and said he didn't commit bigamy, number one, and number two, that he was not a polygamist, that he was not married to Salome. There was silence when Joseph made that statement. Could that be a denial? You've been with Salome all these years. We know you as we know you and Salome as husband and wife. And that is why we made you a deacon in the church. What is going on with you? Then the pastor looked at Salome and asked Salome, what Joseph had just said now, is that true? And asked Salome, what Joseph had just said now, is that Salome kept quiet. Then suddenly she started sobbing uncontrollable. And after a while, she said she had gone through thick, thin and thick with Joseph, that he had 3 children for Joseph. All the while they've been living together as a couple. And the pastor said to her that, look, you've not answered the question I'm asking you. And the pastor said, Joseph is claiming that you were not married. Is that true? Joseph is claiming that you were. And she said, yes. That each time she brought the matter up for them to get married, Joseph always found an excuse. That each time she brought the matter up for them to get married, Joseph always found an excuse to postpone it. So they've just been living that way. And people began to have their own different view to this. Then Salome began to curse Joseph. And some people also who believed in Salome's story also sided with Salome and rained curses on Joseph. After a while, things began to go the other way for Joseph in his life. Things were not going on well. Joseph faced some challenges in life, and Joseph began to believe that it was the curses that Salome and her company rained on him that took effect in his life. So that is exactly what actually happened in the life of Salome and Joseph. Now, what we're going to look into today will be quite very simple. The jar has been broken now. We have all heard what Joseph had done. How do we deal with this issue today? Now, for those who are just joining us, I will always give you a takeaway or points to note. I will summarize everything I've just said. One, Joseph and Salome met in London at the tube station. There seemed to be an attraction between Joseph and Salome. Salome was from South Africa, while Joseph was from Ghana. They became friends and started going out. Salome moved in with Joseph in London and got pregnant twice and had 2 children. Joseph and Salome were living illegally in the UK. While living in the UK, they heard about the opportunity of regularizing their residence paper in another neighboring country known as the Republic of Ireland. Salome and Joseph decided to try their luck after being tired of having after being tired of not having the benefit, sorry, of not having the benefit of legally resident immigrants in the UK. So Joseph and Salome decided to have another baby as a prerequisite to get their papers regularized in the Republic of Ireland. When Salome got pregnant, it was a good news to both Joseph and Salome. So Solomon and Joseph moved to Ireland after a few months in Ireland. Salome put to bed, hooray! It was a baby boy. After some years, Joseph and Salome got the Irish residency and both started working legally in the Republic of Ireland. Both worked so hard that they could afford to have a mortgage. Salome and Joseph attended a multiracial community church in Ireland where Joseph rose through the rank to become a deacon. Joseph was fervent in the church that people looked upon him. Joseph was fervent in the church that people looked upon. He was so fervent in the church to the extent that people look upon him like he was a leader as a deacon. Okay, so at a point in time during the Irish prosperous period, when the prices of houses appreciated in value, Solomon and Joseph decided to remortgage their property and made about 40,000 euros in gain. Joseph decided to go to Ghana to invest this money. He went to one of the local banks to deposit the money in anticipation to invest in a business of his choice and also build a house. At the bank in Ghana, Joseph's account officer hired Joseph, and within a period of time, a relationship sprung up. The relationship between Joseph and the account officer began became so intense that it quickly led to a marriage. When Solomon got wind of the marriage between is Joseph, the father of their three children. When Solomon got wind of the marriage between is Joseph, the father of their three children, let loose. She felt betrayed. She felt used and dumped. She said all men were evil. When Joseph was confronted by Salome, and also by the church pastor and the friend and friends, to explain why he went into a polygamous relationship, Joseph had this to say amongst other reasons. I was not married to her. Joseph had this to say amongst other reasons. That's one of the things he said. When being asked to refute Joseph's lie, Salome busted into tears, stating how much she loved Joseph, how much she had suffered with him. I was there through thin and thick, with three children to show. Salome finally confirmed that there was no marriage between them. But, however, accused Joseph for always deferring the time of their marriage. That is, each time she brought up the issue of getting married legally, of going to see the parents to finalize the issue of marriage, Joseph will always defer it. So Salome began to sob heavily and rain curses on Joseph for betraying her. Others who sympathized with Salome joined in cursing Joseph. At present, Joseph is having challenges in his life and believed that they are as the result of the curses from Salome and her company. The result of the curses from Salome and her company. Now, the big question now would be this: what will you do if you were Salome? How would you have handled the situation if you were Joseph? Was the account officer wrong to have gotten married to Joseph? Was the account officer wrong to do you have a life story relating to this type of complicated relationship you want to share with us today? Do you have a life story relating to this type of complicated the viewers wants to know and learn from you. The viewers wants to know and learn from you. So the numbers to call would be 044-203-0066 914. That's a UK landline. And for the Irish mobile slash WhatsApp number is going to be 00353 899 666 221. 899 666 221. 899 666 221.
This is Complicated Relationship Matters with Dr. Mark Ben, adding life and values to relationships. Complicated Relationship Matters with Dr. Mark Ben,
You're
adding life
welcome.
and values to relationships. Complicated Relationship Matters.
Did you all get the story?
You're
welcome.
Life and values to relationships.
Did you all get the story? You're welcome. Did you all get the story? You're welcome. Did you all get the story? I'll display the number to call down quickly again on the screen. For the Irish number, it's plus 353 899 221. And for the UK number is plus 44 203 0066 914. Is plus 44 203 0066 914. Is plus 44 203 0066 914. Do you get the number? Do you get the number? Do you get the number? And also drop your comment below as well. If you can call in, you can drop your comment below. And also drop your comment below as well. If you can call in, you can drop your comment below. And also drop your comment below as well. If you can call in, you can drop your comment below. Hello? Hello, good evening.
Yeah, I'm
Hello.
calling from Ireland. I have depression on this channel.
Hello, good
That's
evening.
okay. Yeah, I'm calling from Ireland.
Okay.
I have yeah. The first question
Hello,
you
good
asked
evening.
three questions now on the platform.
Okay.
And if number one, if I was Salome, what would I do?
Yeah.
If I was Joseph, what would I do? If I was lastly, family
Yeah.
accountant, like what should I? Why would the accountant get married to Joseph? So firstly, I'm gonna say for Mrs. Salome, she was very ignorant and naive. It was a mistake that she had done that she also corrected and requested and asked for marriage because if you look at the whole scenario, I could say Mr. Joseph came up with this truthfulness. Like from the beginning, for him not to take marriage towards Miss Salome, he has a plan B. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Not for Mr. Joseph right from the beginning. He came
I
up
can
with
hear
this
you.
truthfulness for Mrs. Salome. So Mrs. Salome is already,
I can hear you.
I would say, she is so ignorant because have insisted on the marriage after the first child, second child, or even leave, walk away because at the end of the day, there's nothing binding the both of them, which is marriage. So I'm gonna say because she has an open heart and letting she felt okay, she has found the love of her life. So while for Mr. Joseph, for him thinking maybe it's because it's Mrs. Salome's rain on him, it's just beauty contest, which is karma anyway.
Okay.
So that's what I would say. And for the bank, for the accountant, we did say if she was aware that Mr. Joseph had somebody that had children for him. So I don't know how to answer that question because I don't know if she was aware that it's a relationship that he has committed already. Because I would say she has no fault the accountant because Mr. Joseph never exposed anything that oh you have somebody going on. I don't think. Meanwhile, the accountant is so smart because she requested for a legal marriage, which binds me and Joseph. So why the church? I would say because of where we're coming from, Nigeria or general Africa, sorry, Africa, where we're coming from, they want Mr. Joseph to feed into the both of them. But in conclusion, it's just a lesson for everybody. Nobody should make a promise where they can't fulfill. And lastly, it's good for every woman. And also, if you know you want something serious, you need to request for a legal marriage before anything, or even having children for that particular person. If that's what you want to ask me, I could answer.
Hmm. So you think Salobe, it's kind of a guilty conscience that is affecting Mr. Joseph. It's kind of a guilty
It
conscience that
might
is
be life
affecting
that happened to him. It
Mr.
must not
Joseph.
necessarily, because I don't believe in that. Oh, the curses that Mrs. Salome rain on Joseph is working on him. He could also ask for God's mercy and all that. But it's just maybe his life happening to him. And people, I believe, when people are full of deceit, they are truthful to themselves. Bad things goes to bad people anyway. Good things will never come to people like that. So it's just his beauty content. Probably it's not just Miss Salome that he has messed up with. So he has his own sin in his hand. He's going through his own karma. So why Mrs. Salome, if I was in her position, of course I'm not going to be in such a position. If I was her, I would have seen differently. Like in a relationship, it's not a do or die thing. Yes, once in a lifetime, I've been married before I'm divorced. But there's a way I handle it. When I know it's not working, I walk away. I can't kill myself. When stuff is not right for you, just walk away. You find your peace, it will be better. And you also find that you will learn from your lesson will be whatever that repeated in your old marriage, you shouldn't accept it in any relationship. Once you notice somebody is being unfair, like the people, some people are not well matured enough. So when there's no maturity in that relationship, watch that person very well before commitment and walk away. So that's just basically it. And I've been so happy. I've been divorced for like 6 years and I've been the happiest person ever. Married people do come for me just for advice and all that, and I'm glowing. I'm looking very, very happy. So it just is a boundary, set boundaries, and you know what you want as a person.
Mm. That's a very good one. It's like people want you, like I just got a text right now that they would love you to like repeat what you just said now. But one second, what I would do, hello. So what I would do now, yeah, because the other one, they said people couldn't hear you very well. So I'm going to call you on the other phone number because they want to repeat what you said. They said they tend to like want to follow what you said. One second, so I will call you now. That's it now. That's your call. One second, so I will call you now. That's it now. That's your call. One second, so I will call you now. That's it now. That's your call.
Oh,
Hello.
hello.
Yeah, you are on to complicated
Hi.
relationship. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, people wanted you to like repeat what you said.
Hi, I can hear you.
Yeah, they couldn't hear you very well, but they can hear you now. Okay. So let's start again. Like,
Hi, I can hear you.
oh, can you hear me now? Okay. So let's start again. Like, can you hear me? Oh, can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Everyone, everyone can hear you now. Yeah,
Hear me now? I can speak for you.
everyone can. Yeah.
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, now
I can hear you clearly.
let's start again. If you were Salome, what will you? Okay, go. Just go the way you went the other time. Anyway, let me not put words in your mouth. Okay. How do we go along with this situation? Let me not put words in your mouth. Okay. How do we go along with this situation?
Okay, the way from that he has a on his own personality, he's full of that he has a on his own personality, he's full of fullness. I think you're fullness. I think you're
I think the line is so bad here. Okay, and go ahead. Dan's back. I think the line is so bad here.
I don't know how that
Okay,
he
and
was to
go
not
ahead. Dan's
benefited
back.
something of because he was party. Okay, can you call me? Okay, can you get
Yeah, I can hear you.
me?
We can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So
We
like
can hear
I
you. Yeah,
said,
go ahead.
that Miss Salome
Hello,
was
we can
very
hear you.
ignorant. So in my own cases, I would say there's no point of bringing crosses because I have been in there before. I have a stand for this in a situation like this. I think when it's not working, after having one child, she should sit herself up to say, okay, this man is not ready. What's the next option? In Europe, for God's sake, she has to bind marriage. There's a law binding every marriage so that she'll know, okay, she's secured as well. If a man loves you, you don't need to push him to even marry you. The man will be chasing you. So on that aspect, she has already failed herself. It's not about Mr. Joseph now on her own aspect. It's just for her to know, okay, before building with a man, what's your pillar? So she should ask herself, not really, because there's another way that we should handle cases like this. She's walking away for your mental health, but she didn't do that and she spent all her years of regret with this particular man. Why the accountant, I don't think the accountant is aware that Mr. Joseph has somebody that he's committed to. So for the accountant, I don't think the accountant has any problem for marrying Mr. Joseph. So for Mr. Joseph, I think he's scared. He's scared of karma, like, oh, probably of those causes because he's guilty already. I don't think Miss Salome will be the first woman he has done that to. And probably he's doing some other women the same thing as well. So he's just having guilty conscience because if bad things go to bad people, good things doesn't come to them. No matter what, at the beginning they will think, oh, we are reaping, you're fooling this. You're not fooling anybody to build your life. At the end of the day, they don't see stability is normal. Is normal in this planet. So that's what's wrong with Mr. Joseph. Just that Mr. Lomi didn't see that oh, this man is already full of deceitfulness. So in conclusion, Dr. Benson asked if we had such experience. I understand the divorce. Yes, I've been married. I learned from my own mistake, like what happened in my marriage that I was accepting that I was so naive that I felt cheated on. I wouldn't allow it to happen on a real ground. I wouldn't allow it now to happen if I want to okay move ahead or go into any marriage. Whatever I'm not comfortable, I will talk about it. Yeah, that person does not come to a compromise. I will know that person is selfish. That person, okay, if it doesn't come to compromise, there's no way I will be with such a person because I will know they think about themselves. They are not matured enough. So that's just it.
Have you ever seen like situation as well that are quite similar to this story about Joseph and Salome?
Yes, I am.
Then how did they handle it as well?
And this is a real story that has happened that I know, like it have witnessed. What the lady did, he just walked away. That thing happened, but it didn't really cause it. That thing happened to the man. The same way Mr. Joseph is crying, oh, well, that's why I said it's nature, karma. All that passed in his life at some point, and then people were thinking, oh, maybe it's this lady. But the lady was just living her life, glowing, looking good. That's why I said bad things goes to bad people. At the beginning, you think, oh, you're smart, you're enjoying it, but at the end of the day, things will always fall apart. What I believe, there are some people who you hurt. One day you will be all right, but there are some you hurt. God will just be fighting for them.
Hmm. So, so, so is your belief is just an assumption on the part of Joseph to believe that maybe well, the things, the challenges he had been facing, um, were actually like due to the causes from like the, I mean, that Salome rained on him.
Have guilty conscience.
Guilty conscience. Okay.
Mind, I believe he will remember each word Mrs. Salome said to him, the curses he has said to him. So for him to remember that it will haunt him. Those words will never die in his heart because he knows he's guilty. So those words will haunt him forever until the only way that kind of person will have peace, you just go and beg, like, to that particular Mr. Lomi that have offended you, I am sorry. That's the only way you have peace. But maybe that cause the woman rain, nothing is going to happen to him. It's what his life is facing. It's carrying his own, it's facing his own rain.
Hmm. This is a very serious issue. This is a very serious issue. Hmm. So you you were you
And have to move on to be happy and you just have somebody to love her there and love herself first and then be open.
you advise her to move on and find somebody better.
Yeah. Yes, for her, number one, she has to love herself. Number two, she has to be stable herself, stability. Financially, she needs to do something for herself, to her to earn a living, so that she won't depend on anybody. So she has to be dependent on herself. That's the first time she needs for herself. Lastly, she will find love again. She will go to different dates, like until she's comfortable with somebody, and then she can move on. She don't need to marry. She can be key to marriage. There are different types of relationships these days. There's relationship of benefits. There's marriage. There are different types of relationships. We Africans, we believe, oh, marriage is ultimate. No, it's not. It's superior. People are living, they are cohabiting, they are partners, they are benefit by sex. All kind of things are going on there. So you don't have to be married to be happy.
You made a very good point. Self-love, self-care. Self-love, self-care. Okay.
Yes, yes.
You made a very good
And
point.
it's
Self-love,
complicated. Being
self-care.
married to
Self-love,
somebody,
self-care.
sometimes
Okay.
they will think they are doing you a favor. But it's better off being single and happier.
Hmm.
I don't believe in marriage anyway.
Hmm. Why don't you?
That's why I just said. There's just
Why don't you?
the commitment of replying to somebody and then answering.
So at times you think some people believe they are doing you a favor if they are married to you. Is that what you're saying? At times you think people
Um,
some people believe they are doing you
serious,
a
I
favor
serious,
if they are
but
married
let's
to you.
talk about
Is that what
another
you're saying?
topic.
Okay, we leave that to another day. Okay, we leave that to another. You've done justice to the story between Joseph and Salome. I think Salome now wherever she is right now, she will be hearing this advice. Also, Joseph also will actually hearing what you are saying. And as for the
After she's innocent,
she's innocent, yeah.
she's tongue, and she might be innocent. She's not aware of all this because men that is full of deceitfulness, they have so many things they are hiding. They can't tell you the truth. It's like a chameleon.
Yeah.
They make you believe everything. So it's not a fault anyway.
Wonderful, wonderful. Somebody on the line said right now, he said marriage is a good thing depending on the person you get involved with. He said depending on the person you get involved with.
Marriage is beautiful. Marriage is beautiful and good. It depends on different people. For me, I said I do not believe in it to find
I
happiness
understand,
in
I
marriage.
understand.
You need to have
Of
yes.
course. We
I do not believe in it to find
we hold opinion of our viewers in high esteem. I understand you. Yeah, some people are married, but they are not happily married. Okay.
Mhm. They will tell you, oh, because of the kids and stuff in here, or because of the church, what the community will say. And the kids and stuff in here, or because of the church, what the community will say. And most of them lack sex. That's what I've said. They don't even kiss each other. They don't even do nothing. That's funny. We should stop deceiving ourselves. Is that time we tell ourselves the truth?
So being single, some people some
And you know what?
okay.
You know what I'm saying, yeah?
Yeah.
Married people, tell each other how they spend their finances, number one. Number two, different things they are doing, their husband and wife are not aware of each other. They are full of this inside in this our society. So let's just all stop pretending that oh marriage is this. Out of 100, I would say I don't think it's up to 40% that are really happy in their marriage. I don't think it's up to
Mm.
40% that are really happy in their marriage.
That's that. That's one of those things. There's a kind of opinion poll on this issue sometimes ago, and that happens to be true anyway. Um, like you said, it's okay. People have their own different opinion, but with regards to Salome, you say, I mean, you advise her to just move on, and there's somebody good waiting for her outside.
No, but what will
Mm.
for you? Does she have income? What that will give her good income? Then number two, now one person go for different the person you are comfortable. People that like who you are. For instance, you too much like you are does this person like you being a foodie? Does this person like you the way you dress? Does this person like you the way you talk? Is this person comfortable around you? And does this opposite sex, is he a patriarchy person? Is he me, or all this tradition? Is this person out of the village? Those are the things you will look, put yourself into consideration. Does this person match your standard? Does this person understand you when you speak? So how do you communicate? How do you come to and to when you're trying to conclude that you're coming to when you're having issue, how do you come in? Is it access? Is it about the ego? Is it about me? So those are the things Mr. Alam needs to look. If somebody loves you, you will know. You don't need to ask them for help before they do. They will just know it and okay, support you.
Man, you are so full of this knowledge, huh? You are speaking real, 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 real true from experience. And this is what I want to hear. I want people to say the facts, okay? And you are really saying the facts in line with your understanding. So people are picking it up there. So Salome, wherever you are right now, just hear what is being said and you just look into it and see what you could do, how you can actually move on with your life. Because Joseph had decided to move on with his life anyway. Actually you have, I mean, at times you have situation in life. What I actually tell people is this: in every event, any bad thing, any evil circumstance, anything that's a challenge that you are
Mhm.
facing, there are two takeaways. One, there's a blessing in it and there's a lesson in it.
Mhm.
There's always a
That's
blessing
right.
in it, there's a lesson in it. So, Salome, you got to ask yourself, what is the blessing in this situation?
And
And what is the lesson you need to learn in this situation? Then you move that forward, and that will help you to be a better life. Remember, this caller is telling you that look, you need self-love, you need self-care. You need to love yourself first before someone else can love you. You can't accept love when you don't love yourself. Okay, you need to take care of yourself, okay? And you also have to, she was talking about issue of compatibility. You need to look into the issue of compatibility when going out with someone, okay? Don't just jump. But the way the relationship actually started was just very funny, you know. It wasn't, I believe it didn't have a very good foundation, okay? And in this, yeah,
that's you need to put yourself ahead. Marriage. Stop begging a man to get married to you. That's a problem. Stop
mm,
begging a man to
maybe
get
that man was
married
her
to you.
dream.
That's a problem. That's right. Because what he told the access committee, he said, "Oh, I kept on asking when are we getting married?" Like, asking a man.
Okay, that's true. That's what she kept on. Yeah, because they believe it. They've been cohabiting. Okay, and she was like asking him when he was going to take the next step to get married, which is a very good question to ask anyway. But the guy kept on postponing it and postponing it and postponing it and postponing it, and that should have been a red flag. That should have been a red flag for her.
That's right. If he was very smart, he will know that Mr. Joseph was dating himself. As well, at that particular period, the man is not ready. You yourself find somebody and get married. So that because at the end of the day, when you are cohabiting with somebody, there is no guarantee. It's risky. There's no ring in your finger. It means you can look somewhere else. If somebody said, okay, will you marry me, Joy? I would say yes, because the person I'm cohabiting with, if I'm serious, at the end of the day, there was no mutual agreement that you are going to get married to me.
Hmm. So which means she will still be marketable.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
Commitment. There was no commitment. Never promised her anything. Never promised her anything.
that's okay. That's
Now, they were living together as business partners. They were never, there was no promise.
yeah. That was the point. That was actually the point that Joseph was making. They were cohabiting. There's a difference between cohabiting and marriage. And what we should understand in this story is this: that what Joseph said was actually true. She was never married to Salome. They were only cohabiting,
Which
okay?
is true.
Which is very true.
Uh,
So the first marriage that Joseph ever had was with that account officer in Ghana by law, by law,
yeah.
legally, by law.
Uh-huh.
So by law, Joseph had not done anything wrong by law, okay? By the law, okay?
That's right.
That's the marriage.
By you, sorry.
But by
Yeah.
but by whom, whatever, by the way he went about things, by deceit and so on and so forth with Salome, that was where he got it wrong. Okay, and Salome should have seen the handwriting on the wall for quite some time. At times, we people tend to overlook red flags. When you see red flag, quickly work on those red flags. Okay, work on those red flags.
It's the emotions that run with her. So.
People shouldn't allow emotion to override red flag. When you see red flag, sit down on it and talk about it. Don't be I mean, what my advice also for Salome is that each time they need to communicate about things, you have to sit down and talk. Communication is a key word. So a lot of things that be happening in that relationship that Salome wasn't bringing up was just assuming. Assumption is the least not is the least form of knowledge. Assumption is the least form of knowledge. So thank you so much for your contribution. We actually, I mean, we are so happy with the way you actually dealt with the situation, and because you've actually like passed through a kind of similar situation in your life as well. So you actually spoke with conviction about the whole thing. You spoke with conviction.
So much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
So much.
So I'll get another caller in right now. 1 second. I get another caller in. 1 second. Let me see. I get another caller in. 1 second. Let me see. I get another caller in. Let me see. Salome need to do a lot of work on this issue right now. There's so many people. If you are in this kind of situation, so just think about it on how you're going to work around this whole situation. So somebody said online here, I said she saw the red flag and should have left. She saw the red flag and should have left. That's what this person said. So the red flag was there for Salome. Salome just she ignored the red flag and she didn't leave. She should have left when she saw those like okay. She ignored the red flag and she didn't leave. She should have left when she saw those like okay. She ignored the red flag and she didn't leave. She should have left when she saw those like okay. We're trying to get another caller in. We're trying to get another caller in. So just send in your comment as well as we need to get people as well get people in. Okay. So just send in your comment. Someone is asking, how is their spiritual life? Was their spiritual? I mean, they're just member of a community church in Ireland here, and the man was very fervent in the church, and that's all that we got to know about him. And he was actually a deacon in the church, and that's what. Then somebody else is asked, said, the Salome sought cancer before they start living together. I don't think it sought cancer before living together. You know, they became friends, and she moved in. So there was no cancer with regards to that at all. There was no cancer with regards to that at all. So that was the situation then. So if you are in that kind of situation where you are just cohabiting with someone and you have not actually defined your relationship, you don't know where you are going, you have to sit down with this particular person. Where are we going? Because there's a difference between cohabiting. If you agree to cohabit, that's fine. That's your decision. But if you are looking for, I mean, towards getting married with someone and you are still cohabiting, then you have to talk about it. And you have to actually take a bold step to know when, how, when do we have to do it? Then at the end of the day, you might find yourself in a very, very precarious situation like Salome at the end of the day. She was expecting things would be, I mean, would be fixed, but it never got fixed. It got worse at the end of the day. So that was the situation with Salome. So that was the situation with Salome. So okay, let me see the question. And that question quickly. So somebody, okay, okay. Okay, let me see the question. And that question quickly. So somebody, okay, okay. So somebody wants me to go through the summary quickly. I will go to that summary. I've just quickly glanced through. Somebody's just you didn't join us on time, but just the summary. Let me see if we could get that. Somebody's just if we could get that in. But just the summary. Let me see if we could get that. Yeah, that's the summary. That's the summary. Okay, Salome. I mean Salome. Yeah, that's the summary. That's the summary. Okay, Salome. I mean Salome. Yeah, that's the summary. That's the summary. Okay, Salome. I mean Salome. Okay, we put you online now. So you can write it down. Hello, yeah. Hello,
Right.
hello, caller. Hello, yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I did put
Hello,
some comments
hello,
in the
caller.
chat room.
Yeah, yeah, we can
That
hear you.
Salome should
Yeah,
have sought counsel before they start living together. Because you are cohabiting with someone does not mean you have all the aces. No, it doesn't mean that. There is every possibility that person can up and disappear any day, any time. There is nothing tying you together. And also, how was their spiritual life from the beginning? Are they what's the word in the Bible? We should not be yoked with an unbeliever. Was Joseph was he a believer? And even if they were, why didn't they talk counsel? Why didn't they decide to get married? They sought counsel after the event, after he had already been with the bank manager or the bank lady. That's when she decided to go and talk to her pastor. And also, she saw all these red flags, well before they even migrated to Ireland. He saw it. But she's been asking him, when are we getting married? If this person is not prepared, you can tell as a woman, you've got your systems, you have your discernment. You should know, at the end of the day, whatever he has done now shouldn't be surprised to you because you saw it coming. He had that premonition that, and that is why she was asking him, when. And she couldn't get a proper feedback from him. He didn't get an answer. It's just that he was comfortable with the lifestyle they're living, but he wasn't. Then you know that this man is not serious. This man is not ready to commit to you. You can see he was
This
very
is
clear.
Complicated
There's
Relationship
no sign of
Matters with
commitment.
Dr. Mark
Even if
Ben,
you have
adding life and values to
10 children or 12
relationships.
children for you, that doesn't mean
Dr.
you've
Mark
got him
Ben,
tied down. It
adding life
doesn't
and
mean it's
values
going
to
to be committed
relationships.
to you. So if you have not spiritually, you know, bind each other together at the altar, then there's every 90% is going to walk away. Not that even if you do that, they don't walk away. Um, that's just meant by nature. But he was hoping against hope that okay, one day we're gonna go. It's always already turning the nose to going to meet your family, going after your hand in marriage properly. Then he, there is nothing. He's not going to be committed to you for the rest of his life. Right. And just like he's saying that, oh, well, it is one of the causes that he has rained on it. That's guilty for it that is worrying. If he's just feeling guilty for whatever he has done or where he found himself. And that should not be our concern anyway, because you see, you put him into consideration, he's going to come back and it's going to it's going to be even a worse situation for her. For someone to work with three children and did not consider your emotions, he don't consider the children, he didn't consider how far you both have gone, then he's going to be worse. He's not going to commit for the rest of his life. So wherever situation he finds himself, he's just lump it up. That's what he has decided to do. Then good luck to him. But she needs to keep herself up, love herself, be there for herself, be there for her children. Because those children, they need her, whether she likes it or not. So it's not just so much about her. She needs to be there for herself and also for the children. need to wait to ahead of time and say, you know what, it's not going to be the end of me. It's not the end of the world. I still have a future. I still have a future. You need to find happiness. How is going to do it? In prayer and guidance. They need to talk, take something. They need to have someone who is going to monitor her. She needs that. She needs someone who is going to monitor her. Someone who is going to guide her. Someone who is going to, direct her. Someone who is going to be there for her emotionally. No, I'm not talking in terms of relationship. Spiritually. That's what I mean. Because she needs to be very careful because now she's very vulnerable and she's open to whoever I try on their shoulder. And who might want to take on duty. She needs to be very, very careful. Who do I trust? Who do I counsel? She needs to be very, very careful
Okay.
because those children are watching and those children are equally good as mothers as they is because one they have lost their father.
Okay. Now, with regards to the question regards to the spirituality, okay, all that we gather was that they just both of them attended a particular church, and the man rose through the rank to become a deacon, and he was very fervent in church activities and so forth. That people looked up to him. Then, with regards to whether maybe she knew about whether I mean the thing, okay, there's a question you asked, but I got the answer when you were asking the question, but I forgot the question. But the question, but this is the answer. On many a time, people assume that in quote that people are married because they just come to church as in quote as per couple. So I don't think the pastor was even aware that they were not married, and there's still situation like that as we speak right now. Okay, that because there's nowhere it's people have to be honest about their status. That's what I'm saying. Because on most occasions, like all these churches, there's nowhere where it is lawful for the pastor of a church to be asking you, "Can I see your marriage certificate?" and what kind of stuff. It's whatever people tell them, and at times people just assume. People just assume because they see a woman and a man coming to church with their children or they are married. So I think that was their situation. Okay, so because the pastor was shocked when Joseph had to like voice out that he was not married to Salome. So that was a kind of big situation. So Salome should have seen the red flag, like I said, and should have actually taken a walk. I should have got a cancer before this time around, and so on and so forth. So maybe that was the situation. And there are so many situations as we speak right now that we have so many people who I wouldn't believe they're in love anyway. It is something that brought them together. It's the paper that brought them together, not anything else. Okay, that that was is it. And the other guy could go out looking for love because he or she is not in love with him or he's not in love with her, that kind of thing like that. That's a kind of situation like that as well. So that's the kind of circumstantial kind of relationship that some people get themselves involved in this part of the world. And so on and so forth. Like you said, people have to like cross their T's and dot their I. You have to define your relationship from the beginning. Who are we? What are we doing? Where are we going? And so on and so forth. Not assume. I think Salome was assuming that things were, I mean, that they were together. He was assuming that there was a relationship, but there was no actually viable relationship until whatever. But in the mind of Joseph, Joseph knew all through there wasn't a relationship. That was why he could go ahead and to do what he did by getting married to his account officer. Like the first caller said, we don't have to blame the account officer because she didn't know what's going on. She's innocent. She's innocent. So we don't have to blame her because I remember then there was this rumor. Oh, maybe she used, maybe she was, maybe Joseph was voodooed to, I mean, by the account officer or something. But that was, I believe that was crashed anyway. Because at the end of the day, I don't believe that anyway. The thing is, the lady was innocent all through because she didn't know what's going on with Joseph in Joseph's life. And if we have to look at legally as well, And like Joseph said, that would be the legal, the legal wife, so to speak. So Salome have to pick up herself, learn from this lesson, and she has to heal up, and then she needs to just move forward. Self-love and self-care is one of the key words that she would need to actually get herself back on track. She's a beautiful lady, and she would always also just think about life from a positive point of view. Um,
Hmm.
the person that if somebody treats you as a trash, somebody else will pick you up and say go to you and to like your precious jewel. So that's what I say to Salome wherever she is today. Um, just pick yourself up and move forward in life. Okay, there are better people than Joseph for you, waiting for you there. That's all. Thank you so much for your contribution.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution. Now, so that's it for Salome. So Salome, you must have actually heard what people have actually been advising you regarding your situation. So just you just have to like pick yourself up and move on. And if you're in this kind of situation wherever you are right now, all you have to do that you have to sit down, count the cost, go back to the drawing board. You need to speak with your partner. You need to get things right. You have to define your relationship, define it, put a label on it. Put a label on it. And if you're happy with the label, fine. But there's no need for you to assume that something was going on or something is going on with you and there's nothing. The other person is not on the same page with you. You have to be on the same page when it comes to this kind of relationship. Okay. So cohabiting, if that's what you want, that's okay. You are free to have your choice. But if you want to move away from cohabiting to get into marriage, then both of you also have to be on the same page on this issue. But if you're not on the same page, then that's the problem. Joseph was not on the same page with Salome with regards to their relationship. Joseph wants to move ahead. Joseph wasn't, I don't believe Joseph was in love with Salome. And Salome should have read that on the wall for quite some time. So red flag, never ignore any red flag. And that's one of the things that we have to put into consideration. Never ignore any red flag. So thank you so much, every contributor, every caller. We we have actually looked into that, and Salome is hearing what you have said, and I believe is going to put that into use as well. So we're going to end it tonight at this point. So next week we're going to bring another story in next week. So on the same channel, there'll be another story. So just watch out for that. Because someone actually called me today and shared her own story with me, and I said to her, "Look, by next week we're going to bring that in." That also is something very, very controversial and very, very complicated as well. So next week, see me on this channel with complicated relationship matters. Until next time, stay blessed and do the right thing at every point in time. God bless you. Bye for now. And do the right thing at every point in time. God bless you. Bye for now.